हम अब ऐसा गुजरात बनाएंगे जो पूरा विश्व गुजरात को अपना घर बनाए।
The day will come in the not too distant future when we will not only talk about the China model in Gujarat, but the Gujarat model in China.
In Gujarat, we see a culture of implementation at various levels of the government, reflecting the leadership qualities of the Honorable Chief Minister.
I'm proud to say that Reliance is a Gujarati company.
How many other economies boast in this economy double-digit growth? And I can tell you, you can count those on one hand, and Gujarat is at the top of the list.
I hope that the world also sees Gujarat as an outstanding example of what can be done when you have the vision, the sincerity, and the desire to succeed as this government has.
The Vibrant Gujarat Summit over the weekend once again bringing into sharp focus brand Narendra Modi. His power to get the cream of India Inc. to sit for hours and hours and shower praises on him and on the economic success of Gujarat. Hello and welcome. You're with We Mean Business. I'm Shweta Rajpalkoli. On the show today, we're asking what makes Narendra Modi such a hit with corporate India and foreign investors now? If the Gujarat model can be replicated elsewhere, possibly even at the national level, and why did the industry go a bit too overboard in praising Modi? More on that coming up on the show. Let me introduce our guest. Sanjay Jha, author and columnist and founder of AmaraCongress.com, joins us from Mumbai. We will also be joined in by Nirmala Sitharaman, national spokesperson of the BJP, in just a bit. Mr. Sunil Alagh, chairman of SKA Advisors and former MD and CEO of Britannia Industries, with me here in the Delhi studio. Vivek Dehejia, economics professor and author of Indianomix, joins us from Mumbai. Dr. Sudarshan Iyengar, vice chancellor of Gujarat Vidyapith, joins us from Ahmedabad. We've also got my colleague Nikhil Inamdar, who was covering that Vibrant Gujarat Summit, joining us to give us a sense of what really happened there over those 2 days. But before we move on to this discussion, let me bring you up to speed with the big news of the day. The stock markets touching a 2-year high. The Sensex and the Nifty today touched 2-year highs, gaining over 1%, and that's on the back of some good news coming in. One, of course, was the fact that inflation touched a 3-year low, giving enough comfort and perhaps room to the RBI now to look at a rate cut, possibly when it meets on the 29th of this month. Remember, there have been a lot of calls, both on part of the North Bloc, which is the Finance Ministry, as well as on part of the industry, for the RBI to go ahead and start cutting rates, but it had always cited sticky inflation. Now that we're seeing inflation at a 3-year low, it looks like the Reserve Bank of India may finally oblige. And of course, the other piece of great news that did help markets zoom today was the fact that the controversial anti-tax avoidance rules have now been delayed to 2016, something that has been made official by the Finance Minister today. Let me go across also to my colleague Sapna Das to find out more about what that GAR delay really means. Sapna, great news there for foreign investors.
Well, Shweta, definitely it's an important development with the Finance Minister, Mr. P. Chidambaram, clarifying the date of deferment. Earlier on, the Shom panel had suggested a 3-year deferment after the 1-year deferment which was granted by this year's budget. But the government has given a 2-year deferment. So now you can say very clearly that from the assessment year, April 1, 2016, is the time when GAR will actually be made applicable. This also means that this will be made applicable to income year or rather financial year, the previous financial year of 15-16. That's one. Second, there is also a grandfathering date, which means the cutoff date has been kept as 30th August 2010. And the rationale being given by the Finance Minister here is the fact that that was the time, or rather that was the date when the government had first introduced the DTC bill in the Parliament. Now, there is a different point to this altogether. The Shom panel earlier had said that the date of grandfathering should be right up to the time when GAR actually kicks in, but the government has thought otherwise, and they're given an earlier cutoff date. So that's second. Third, and I think this will be the most critical element, what happens to the foreign institutional investors and what happens to the foreign investors within the FIIs. On the first level, here the government is trying to reiterate what they had said earlier on the general anti-avoidance rule, which remains as the fact that in case an FII is taking the benefit of a tax treaty, then the general anti-avoidance rule will definitely be made applicable to them. However, if they are not taking that benefit in the sense that they are willing to pay the capital gains tax or any other tax rate according to the income tax laws, then obviously the general anti-avoidance rule will not stand for them. In terms of the foreign investors, here the exemption is extremely clear, whether it's P-notes, and primarily most of the investments are coming from Singapore and Mauritius, particularly in the form of participatory notes. Here they are very clear that the general anti-avoidance rule will not apply. It's the foreign institutional investor, the FII, that is the entity where the buck will stop. But as I've just said, it's not a blanket exemption given to FIIs. In case they avail the tax benefit under the double taxation avoidance agreement, then it's not that they'll be totally exempt from GAR. The fourth element, and I suppose this is also equally important as all the other points, here the government again is very, very clear that the general anti-avoidance rule will kick in only if there is a proved impermissible tax avoidance.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.